And if you look at this poll, are you worse off financially since the president took office? This is in the Washington Post ABC poll. That's the highest number they've been polling for 37 years. And 41% of Americans say they're worse off since the president took office. That's the old Ronald Reagan question, right? Right for re-election. Do you feel better off than you were 4 years ago? So that's a tough one.
A potential nuclear war, a once-in-a-century pandemic, rising inflation and a supply chain crisis. Joe Biden will make one of his most anticipated speeches at a time of incredible global and domestic uncertainty. This afternoon, the US President will deliver the 2022 State of the Union address, and much of the country and world will be watching with great interest how President Biden handles this historic moment.
President of the United States.
50 states, 329 million people. Their situation and the shape of the nation each year surmised in a single sentence.
The state of our union is strong.
The state of our union has never been stronger.
The state of our union is strong because our people are strong.
The president's address is a largely ceremonial national stocktake that's steeped in history.
Capitol Hill in Washington is again the nation's focal point as the 80th Congress convenes during one of the most crucial periods in the nation's history.
Started in 1790, formalized and televised in the 1940s, the State of the Union has seen poignant moments and lasting decrees.
And this administration today, here and now, declares unconditional war on poverty in America.
States like these and their terrorist allies constitute an axis of evil.
Abraham Lincoln called for national unity days after ending slavery. James Monroe decreed the US effectively control South and Central America. The so-called Monroe Doctrine lasted almost 2 centuries. While Bill Clinton's end to big government pledge arguably won him re-election. There's been as many controversies as there have been special guests. Supreme Court justices have been caught shaking their head and falling asleep. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi was lauded and loathed for ripping up President Trump's 2020 speech. then passing almost all of his legislation. And in 1997, US networks cut away from President Clinton's address to air the verdict in the O.J. Simpson civil trial.
And we finally have justice for Ron and Nicole.
We will soon see whether the 46th president channels the emotion of George H.W. Bush or perhaps the frankness of Gerald Ford.
The state of the union is not good.
The Union in 2022 is beset by all manner of issues, economic, political and social. The Union's state and its woes aren't so simple to address. Brent O'Halloran, Sky News.
And join us for full live coverage of President Joe Biden's State of the Union address. It'll be live and right here in full at 1 p.m.